welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Eeaassyynow. If you haven't heard the news, Kabam Lira, the community manager, has just dropped the release notes for the update, which happens next week. The game will go down on Wednesday, and it will be back up on Friday with the brand new updates going live. In this video, I'm just going to take you through all of the changes. There's a lot to unpack. Quite a lot to figure out, and some of it we may not fully understand until the update hits, but we can get into it and we can discuss it and we'll see what we think. This first section just talks about Kabam, the year in beta we've had, some of the changes that they've made, and also what they want to bring to the game, like clarity for direction for players, for new players as well as old players. And a little about how they've gone about achieving that. So in the What's New section, this is what they want. To meet these goals, they've made some changes to the next Disney Mirrorverse update. And here we go. The first one, updated reward clarity. Apparently players tell them that it is unclear where to get different resources from. So if you play the game already, you'll know that it's not straightforward. It's not as streamlined as it could be. Some chapters, let's say chapter 3, Battle 1 will be a certain kind of moat. You'll go to Chapter 4 Battle 1 and it'll be a different kind. There is different number of moats in each one. So yeah, they wanted to streamline that, make it clearer for everybody. So this is what they have come up with, which is really good if you ask me. I'll zoom in so you can see. So this will feature on your daily page. And if you notice, all your moats are now on the daily page. This is where you will go to farm your moats. You will not receive moats from story mode anymore. This is where you will go every day. And for those of you with a keen eye, you will notice there is a new type of moat on the end. You are correct, and it is worth more, but we'll get into that a little bit further down. So yeah, this is your moat page where you will go every day as your dailies. And it's a lot more easier to see. It's better. You just swipe across. As you can see on the top, there's the different colours. On the bottom, there's the different ones. It looks a lot better. It's a lot more easy on the eye. And of course, it's a lot better for everybody to find. No more searching through story quests for the ones you want. Just going to read a little bit of the paragraphs above. It says story quests should be the primary measure of progression for players throughout their journey in the game. Powering up guardians, beating the next encounter, and earning great one-time rewards should be an exciting milestone in a player's game experience. To this end, we have removed repeat rewards and the necessity of resource farming from story quests. Instead, new level up moats daily quests will be available alongside the golden rank up gems. Daily quests you are used to completing to earn resources. In addition, books will be primarily available through the updated Tower of Troubles. So all your shards will be converted as well, guys. As I said, there is a lot to unpack. So let's just scroll down and I will read through these bullet points. These are quite key as well. I'll leave it on here so you can read it as well if you come back for future reference. Addition of new level up moat daily quests alongside gold, diamonds, roll gem daily quests with adjusted rewards and win limits. So we'll probably get some more. Daily quests are unlocked after Chapter 1 Encounter 8. So everybody will be able to access them just after playing the game for a very, very short amount of time. Dailies are where you can reliably earn progression resources each day, including all moat types and Tier 1 to Tier 3 gems. Emphasis on that. Story quests no longer provide repeat rewards, instead encouraging players to push as far as they can with the Guardians to collect the one-time rewards. There is no restrictions in the main story encounters in all difficulties. That's cool, with the exception being only specific side encounters in certain chapters. So what that means is like when you'll get Battle 5 1A, like at the moment we've got the Rapunzel ones where you'll just take Rapunzel in and it's one versus the rest. That's pretty cool. Hard difficulty, which is unlocked after completion of Chapter 4 Normal, will feature timed encounters and timed objectives in order to provide additional challenges. Expert Mode, which unlocks after the completion of Chapter 4 Hard, will build on top of the challenge introduced in Hard and will feature even tougher timed objectives, as well as special buffs and select encounters that will make battles even more challenging and memorable. Sounds quite tough already, so I'm not expecting anybody to be able to run through, say, Chapter 6 Expert, never mind Hard, with all of these timed encounters. It's going to be really challenging. It's going to be fun. Simple, clearer, one-time star rewards in story mode. Always welcome. Earn books to upgrade talent in the updated Tower of Troubles. See below. So we'll get into that when it comes up. But the next topic is dangerous dungeon updates. Yes, this is what we was led to believe. It was just going to be a little bit of downtime, a dungeon break for more dungeon updates. So this is what they have now decided to do. We've learned a lot in the months since the release of our latest game mode, Dangerous Dungeons, and we are excited to share some improvements. The dungeon exists as competitive and social endgame mode. We want to entice players to participate in the mode in their journey. Therefore, dungeons will unlock after completing Chapter 2 Normal, and the first 2 difficulties will require lower Guardian power. So this will be great for new starting out people, be able to get the dungeon rewards a lot earlier. We want Dangerous Dungeons to be a rewarding and worthwhile place to spend time in the game. To improve this, dungeons will include shorter encounters, making battles go by quicker. Beginning in November, 2 dungeon types will run each week. So we have 1 week split up into 2 dungeons. Moat Madness dungeons will run each week from Tuesday to Friday, providing role-based minor to superior moats. Role-based tank, melee, support and range dungeons will run each week from Friday to Tuesday, providing role tier 1 to tier 4 gems or gem shards. Players start each dungeon event with 80 energy and get an additional 40 dungeon energy each subsequent day of the event. So you start with 80 and you get 40 per day. It's no longer 80 all day every day. Milestone Rewards have been rebalanced in line with various resource requirement changes throughout the game. So we're not quite sure what this is. I'm not sure if they're getting a boost, they're getting a nerf. This is one of those where we'll just have to wait and see. A little bit of extra information I can give to you that's not on here, which I have asked questions about, is the Dungeon Delve Alliance event, which does coincide with this, will be judged on the whole week, which I think was quite obvious to a few, but just in case you didn't know. The Alliance event, Dungeon Delve, will take into account both of these, and it will still run on a week-to-week basis. I'm not sure if the milestones and the objectives needed to do well in that will be the same, or if they've been tweaked a little, but yeah. Week to week, the Dungeon Delve hasn't changed on the timeline. Next, moving into the towers. And this is what Kabam have came out and said about the towers. The Tower of Troubles has historically been one of the more challenging modes in the game. Very agreeable. Providing a measurement for player progression and a challenge for even the strongest guardians. True. In this update, we want to give players the opportunity to take on this content more regular and have reduced some of the difficulty. Okay. Instead, story mode should serve as the primary measure of player progression and the challenge. So to simplify, at the moment, it is true. If you've cleared all of the towers by now, you will have a solid account. You will have rank 5 guardians across the board of the required ones. So what this means is the change in the emphasis on where the strongest people will be. More and more people hopefully should be doing a lot more better in the towers, getting those further upgrades and making more progress than they've done before. So story will be where the real challenge is at, which makes sense, to be honest. It's I think it's a great change. Towers will reset weekly on Thursdays, rotating between a focus on high-tech guardians 1 week and seafaring guardians the next. So every week there'll be a rotation on the towers to mix it up to keep it fresh. So this will mean that some people will need to work on high-tech guardians and seafaring guardians over the course to progressively get further along in the towers to get those rewards. Complete these new encounters to earn common to epic books. Towers is now your main source of books, your primary source. There may be a few in the store from time to time, as there is now, but Towers will be something that you will need to run to get your books. Towers, this mode will unlock after the completion of Chapter 3 Normal. I'm not sure if that's been made to be more accessible early, but it seems about right. It's still quite early on in the game. The current running version of the Tower of Troubles will end November the 3rd at 10 AM PST. I think just before we continue, a little something from me about the towers and the dungeons here. I think it's great that more people are allowed in early as well, and they've mixed it up. There's going to be more rotations. It keeps it fresh in the mind. It's going to be great for people to figure out. Really enjoying it at the moment. And so I'm going to enjoy it even more when these new changes come in. I think the idea is to get more people early on incorporated into both of these modes instead of sort of leaving the Tower of Troubles until you've made major progression with your Guardians. I think a lot of people do that. They'll jump into the towers, they'll clear 5 to 10 levels, and then they'll get to 11. It's hard, so they'll wait until they have got a lot more powerful Guardians. Whereas this will be a weekly thing now that you will probably need to do to progress, which is great. So people will have to run these game modes. I think it's a nice way of incorporating players to get to do these game modes, to be honest. Okay, let's move on to general gameplay improvements. Now, this is great. A lot of people have been asking for this, especially me. A lot of people, especially when it comes to ranged Guardians. So here we go. Improvements to targeting and auto fights have been highly requested by the community. Yeah, that's true. And below are some of the changes we have been able to make in this area. The default targeting system has been improved to more reliably select a player's intended target. We've all had the issues where you're wailing on someone and the AI will move, so your focus switches on its own. So annoying. But this is the great one. Players can now tap on an enemy's portrait to lock onto that target. Awesome. That's amazing. That's one of the things we've been crying out for. It's so good. You can switch between. I'm guessing now you can switch between all of your 3 Guardians. Tap the portrait to lock it. Switch to another one. So you could have your 2 AI focusing on one person, whilst the person you're controlling can just go and beat the crap out of somebody else. Whatever you want, guys. It's possible now. Another thing, Auto Fight now has Guardians that use special abilities on cooldown. It is defaulted to on, but it can be turned off. So auto fights, your Guardians will be better. If you was to auto, let's say for example 1 to 10, and you died on 7 in the old system, you should now be able to at least get to 8, 9 because they will use their specials. So it's easier for that way for the people who don't want to play manual. Improved visual feedback when control is taken away from you due to stun or roots. Now this can be tricky in battles with lots of buffs and debuffs. The bar at the top can be quite overwhelmed. And sometimes you just don't know when you've been rooted, especially if you stood there battling and then you only figure it out once you're trying to move away. So apparently this is going to be a lot more visual. You will be made aware when these debuffs do happen to you. General improvements to AI behavior, paving the way for future improvements. Now I'm guessing this means the AI have been made stronger in some areas. So expect the AI to be dodging out of your way, maybe a little bit more difficult, maybe a bit more aggressive on the attack. Hopefully it should be more interesting anyway. It's one of those we'll have to wait and see, make up our own minds. Okay, swiftly moving into the next part of the update. As you can tell, there's already quite a lot of things that have happened, and from here on out, these are some of the more bigger changes in my opinion, especially if you've been playing for quite a while. So, Guardian progression and Astral rating. Very interesting. One of the areas of improvement coming to the game is providing additional meaningful progression points for Guardians. Upgrading and powering up a valid roster of Guardians should be a regular part of play, always giving players something to look forward to next. Which is true. These games aren't supposed to be felt completed or a Guardian's work is done. You're not supposed to be able to leave them. Building a wide roster of Guardians and leveling them all is fundamental for the game. And these changes will be reinforced and rewarded through game mechanics. So this is what they have come up with. And this is how it looks. Which I think is quite neat and tidy, to be fair. This is your Astral star rating. So as you can see just here, if we zoom in, they had 820 shards. They've just pulled a 5-star Oogie Boogie, which has granted them an Astral thing that was unlocked. As you can see, the signets are there still. The Stardust is there. But for those of you with that eagle eye, again, you will notice the Stardust colour has changed. We'll get into that. So yeah, this is your Astral rating now. It's another thing. It's a progression on 5 stars. And this is what Kabam have publicly come out and said about it. Star rating and Astral rating. To provide deeper progression for Guardians after reaching 5 stars, the new Astral rating will be added. Guardians have star rating from 1 to 5 stars, the same as is currently in-game. Guardians will additionally have 10 levels of Astral rating to achieve after reaching 5 stars. So once you've maxed the Guardian on stars, this is when Astrals will kick in. Unlocking a duplicate Guardian will provide shards towards the Guardian's next Astral rating. Guardian ranks and levels. Alongside the new Astral rating, for further Guardian progression, additional ranks and levels will be added. Levels, ranks, and Guardian ownership are linked to provide clearer and more balanced progression for player rosters. So basically, guys, along with Astral levels, there's more ranks, the levels have increased, and there's a lot more to do now. Everybody with Guardians at 40 and 50, it's just opened up. Guardians will now have 10 ranks, each unlocking access to 10 more levels. Guardians now have 100 levels. So people like me who've got level 50s, we're only halfway there now, so everything has just doubled up, which is great. Guardians must reach the maximum level available to them before upgrading to the next rank. Same as it works, you have to hit 40 before you can rank up to... Oh no, wait, that's new. Alright, so now you have to hit, say, you have to hit 60 before you can rank up and then progress to 70. So you can't just do what I do on videos and do all the ranks and then do all the levels. For example, a Guardian must be level 10 before unlocking rank 2. Yep, that reinforces what I've just stated. Ranks require a minimum star rating to unlock. For example, rank 3 requires a Guardian of at least a 3-star rating. It's getting a little bit more tricky. Rank 4s and above also require a certain number of Guardians unlocked of the same role and level. Interesting. For example, unlocking a rank 4 for support Guardian Bell will require owning 2 total support Guardians at level 20. So what this is going to do is put emphasis on having a wide roster instead of just focusing on a main 3 or 2 main teams of 3. Which is great because this is what you will need to tackle more of the story progression when it diverges into traits. You will need it for towers and dungeons. So this is basically preparing everybody for the new way of how it's going to be. Rank and level resource costs have been adjusted to accommodate for these changes, with a reduction in gold costs at some ranks. I think everybody who plays this game will be overwhelmed to hear that. Hopefully it's a meaningful amount. But gold has been ridiculous. They've been skinning us for a while, and now we know why. Tier 4 diamonds and Tier 4 roll gems will be added. So here it is, guys. Again, in-game, if you've had a look around, you go on your Guardians page and you check out the gems that you do have. The Tier 4 filter has always been there, so we knew it was coming. Probably maybe not like this, in this way, but we knew it was going to come at some point. And this is how the ranks and the roll gems break down. So I'm going to say it slowly, and as always, you can pause it and read it for yourself. Rank 2 uses Tier 1 diamonds. Ranks 3 to 6 use Tier 1 to Tier 2 roll gems and Tier 1 to Tier 3 diamonds. Diamonds are the generic ones and the roll gems are class specific. Ranks 7 to 8 use Tier 2 to Tier 3 roll gems and Tier 3 to Tier 4 diamonds. Ranks 9 to 10, so the final two, use Tier 3 and Tier 4 roll gems and only Tier 4 diamonds. Which makes sense, everything's just been scaled up. So daily gem farming is going to be a little bit more important than it has been. People are not going to be stocked up like we are now. This is going to strip a lot of our resources, if not all of them, and probably all of everybody's gold if you go ham. Universal and role-based superior motes will be added. Okay, so levels 1 to 20 use minor motes. Levels 21 to 50 use major motes. Nothing's changed there. Levels 51 to 100 use superior motes. These are the brand new ones, guys. The Guardian power has been adjusted across all levels and ranks to accommodate for these changes. Guardians will start at approximately 100 power and at max star rating, astral rating, rank and level will be approximately 6,000 to 7,000 power. Okay, let's go over that one again. Quest content difficulty and expected team power for encounters has been adjusted alongside these changes. Ranking up Guardians no longer increases their attributes, and adjustments have been made to attributes provided by level. So everything's just been scaled back a little again. Okay, so again, guys, there's a lot to take in here, and it wouldn't surprise me if you rewatch this or reread it yourself. I've read it a couple of times and I'm still making sense of it all. Okay, so Guardian attributes. In the current version of the game, the Guardian attributes of health, attack, defense, and focus are calculated along a curve to derive their effects, such as percentage of crit chance and damage res. It has become clear throughout the beta that these calculations would have balancing concerns. Systems as such as talents, buffs, and more interact with attributes and grow alongside Guardians. So basically, they couldn't carry on this particular level that they was doing. The game would have been all out of whack, and the Guardians would have gone crazy. They would have been useless. So they've changed the way the attributes work. Again, here we go. We also often heard from player feedback that critical hit and defense focused Guardians felt unreliable to play, which is true. Ranged Guardians became sucky. This was confirmed by game data that showed, for example, ranged Guardians may perform well at high levels, but at lower levels, they were not as effective. Which is true, ranged Guardians are better higher than they are at lower, but ranged Guardians, apart from the odd few, still suck at the end, and you'd still probably rather use a melee. So, for all of you that played early, you will know ranged was OP. Then they got nerfed to oblivion because of the crit chances. So this new system, I think it's going to work out well. It's bringing a balance where people will play ranged more and it will feel fun to play again. You will see some crazy numbers from time to time when you play them right. So yeah, people like Merida, I'm expecting to be good. Maleficent is going to come out of the Dark Ages and be useful again. This is really good. Here we go. In the next update, a new system will be put in place intended to provide a more reliable experience for players and allow for more balanced growth for Guardians. This new system uses what is known as Relational Damage Formula. Cool concept. That takes into account both the attacker and defender's attributes in combat. This formula will then compare the two sets of attributes alongside other adjustments to create a derived attribute appropriate for the encounter. Okay, so briefly, in an encounter, the formula determines a crit chance percentage based upon attacker's focus versus the defender's focus. Having high focus will now also contribute indirectly to how your Guardian can defend against crit hits. So the higher focus you have, the more you will crit and the better you can defend against crit. That's basically what that says. Having a higher focus than your enemy will increase your chance of landing a crit hit and decrease your chance of receiving... Yep. So if you have if you're in a surplus of 6,000, which means you have 12k crit, they have 6, you're 6,000 ahead. So I'm not quite sure how good that will be. I'm guessing that'll be quite a lot. So you should be critting quite regular and very rarely getting critted against. The formula also generates a damage res percentage based upon the defender's defense versus the attacker's attack. So this is tank specific and melee specific and ranged. Having higher defense than your enemy attack will decrease damage taken. Having a higher attack than the enemy's defense will increase the damage dealt to the enemy. So I can see this going a couple of different ways and it's going to get a little bit crazy. We're going to have to test this very thoroughly. It's safe to say the tier list at the moment is up in smokes, but a lot of this is also going to be on the enemies that you are facing and also the base stats of each Guardian now. So it's going to be quite crazy. In addition to these updates in how attributes are calculated, please expect the following changes. Defense and focus adjustments have been made throughout the game. So that means to all enemies, all AIs, maybe to some of the Guardians. Crit damage has been reduced globally, including fractured. So basically, Guardians like our Goofy, who was just going insane, especially towards the end, critting countless times just on one special. And also the enemy Maleficents for the fractured, who can just range. A special can tickle you, or it can obliterate 4/5 of your health and leave you wounded. So, yep, global crit has gone down. Can't argue with that, really. The game's going to feel more balanced, which is great. Guardian-specific updates will be made in consideration of these changes. So, expect some nerfs, expect some buffs, hopefully a Maleficent rework on talents. We don't know. I'm just speculating. That's what that means to me. But yeah, I think Goofy will be one of the ones that will change in that because he has quite high focus stat anyway. It's quite easy to get crits as it is with him now. Like you get a couple of basic crits and then that means his special does more ricochets. So if that was allowed to snowball from this point, the numbers would be insane. So, Goofy fans, I would expect a nerf on him. Slightly. Okay, so take a breather, guys, because we've still not finished. Get ready for the next part. Stardust changes to provide players with some choice in their progression and to which guardians they unlock. New role-based Stardust will be added and Stardust Store will be updated. Role-based Stardust will be given alongside every guardian unlocked from crystals, with higher amounts given depending on the star rating of the guardian earned. The roll of Stardust received will match the roll of the new guardian earned. So you pull a 3-star Belle, if she's max, you'll get you'll get your Stardust, but it will only be support. If it's a 4-star, you will still get your Signet, and 5-star, you will still get those Signets. These new Stardust types can be spent to unlock 3-star and 4-star Guardians in the store. A little bit of an additive on this. Some of us on Discord have been hashtag protesting, as we do. The buff buzz movement worked. We got him buffed, and he's now pretty decent. We've also had the change the Stardust Store, so this is part of that, I guess. So we're 2 for 2. We're going strong. So now the Stardust Store is split into 4. I have asked in the Discord about this. New Guardians will be in the Stardust Store. Not brand new ones that you'll see in Famed Crystals, and they might not get added for a period of time. But we should start seeing some of like your Ariels and I don't know if Goofy and Donald will be. Hopefully they will, because Donald is a pain to get for a lot of people. But yeah, everyone we see, all the original Guardians like Scars and Rapundles and Mulans, they're always in there. I'm quite bored of them. So yeah, some of the newer ones since then will be in Aladdin's, Herc's, Anger's. Also, I do believe the cost of Mini has gone down from 19k. Not sure if it's the 12k or 1200. 1 second. Okay, so there isn't an official answer on Discord. There's people speculating around it. But what is official is she will not cost 19k dust anymore. It'll definitely less. And obviously, with the new changes, it will be melee specific. Another note to add is Mini will still be the only Stardust Store exclusive Guardian. So if you still don't have her and you want her, then yep, feel free to go and grab her when you have enough of the new Stardust. A little bit of changes about how some of the Guardians and the milestones will work now. These are also things that are coming up. This is more Guardian specific now, milestones, talents and SIGs. Guardians milestones will be adjusted to reward investment across a player roster. Guardians will have 20 milestones to achieve. I think at the moment it's only 14 and nobody's past like 11. Milestones provide rewards as avatar items, which we all know, roll dust, crystals, orbs, signets, and attribute bonuses. The attribute bonuses provided through Guardian milestones have been reduced to be in line with the other new Guardian power updates listed above. So your 20% and your 15% on your tier 9s have been reduced, but everything's been scaled back, so that makes sense. I'm hoping it's been adjusted appropriately. Some milestones require getting other Guardians of the same role to a certain level. So they're not exactly the same, like rank up, level up, get your talents to this. There's also other ones now. For example, getting Sully to milestone 6 will require having 2 total tank Guardians at milestone 3. So yeah, more things to chip away at, more things to work at, just to split your focus a little. Might make people more selective. We'll see, but it's all good, all good. Guardian talents and SIGs. Talent leveling for Guardians will be simplified. No changes are planned at this time for signature abilities. SIGs are the same, nothing's changing. You'll get 5 if you pull a 5, and you will get 1 SIG if you pull a 4-star Guardian, so that's great. Role-based talent books will be removed. Say bye-bye to all your melee books, all your class-specific ones. All costs adjusted for leveling talents will include only generic books and gold. Only generics, only your grey ones. So there's three types of grey books and then your epic books. Talents will unlock at Guardians level 12, 15, 18, 20, 25 and 30. So they've been spread out. It's going to be harder to unlock talents, but it's going to make them more meaningful. Signature abilities will continue to be unlocked at 4 stars and 5 stars, as I explained a little moment ago. So yeah, also do believe we will be getting compensation. All them role-based books will be turned into generic books. So we're going to have a huge overflow. My advice personally on this is, if you have the gold and you think you can spare it, use as many books as you can now of your generic ones, because nobody really uses the role-based ones. And when all them get converted, you will have a lot of books left over and use. But that'll mean if you use a lot now, then you won't have many expiring in your stash. But also go very easy on your gold, because we don't know how much is going to be needed for the next. Okay, so moving on to objectives. Journey objectives have updated rewards and new objectives added to introduce new players to the various game modes. Achievement objectives have been updated in line with other balancing changes in the game. Daily objective rewards have been adjusted and now only appear for players who have completed Chapter 1 Encounter 7 on the base difficulty. It doesn't say that, but that's what it means. Okay, we're still getting there, guys. We've still got, still got a tasty chunk to get through, and it's still more important. You're going to want to hear the end of this, because this is where you find out your compensation bracket. How it will work. These changes will be live in the next game update coming on November the 5th. To implement these changes, a downtime of approximately 48 hours will be required starting on November the 3rd. So to me and you, that's Wednesday. The game will go down on Wednesday and it will be back on Friday. The following will occur for all player guardians. Players will keep their guardians they have unlocked at the same start, rank and level. So your guardians will not be being touched. They will stay there. Your talents will stay there as well. Your talents will be unequipped. You'll have to put them back on. And according to the available talent slots unlocked for the guardian levels, guardian milestones will be reset. So all your tiers will be back to 0, giving players an opportunity to earn the updated milestone rewards. So what this means is, you'll keep your ranks, your levels, your SIGs, and your talents once you've put your talents back on. And you're basically just going to go to where your tiers are now, and you're going to be able to claim that on every one of your guardians up to the new amount. So say you was tier 12 before, you might only be tier 8 now, but you're going to get to claim all those goodies on the way, which is great. You're getting free rewards, guys. This is like compensation without a label, basically. Everyone's going to have a nice injection of gold, maybe some orbs. It's going to be cool. Story quest progression will reset, so we're all going back to the beginning of the story, back to the Mirrorverse, giving all players an opportunity to earn all the new rewards, all the star rewards again, guys. Think of all these orbs. This will give players an opportunity to accurately measure their Guardian's progression against newly balanced content. Retaining current story progression would leave players potentially in a situation where they have progressed past content, past their level. Yep. This could delay their continued progress in story quests until they have significantly upgraded. We look forward to hearing everyone's feedback and experiences in the journey through the Mirrorverse story. So yeah, guys, basically we're just going to have to go back, refarm what we've done. It's going to be a little bit more difficult the further we get, but the rewards are there again, all the star rewards. I'm just looking forward to gold and orbs and everything else that comes with it. It's going to be a good time. Okay, so here we go. We've not finished. Compensation for all of the things that are being taken away. We are getting handsomely rewarded once again. You have to tip your hat to Kabam on this one. They do know how to compensate players. With so many significant changes taking place, compensation will be provided to players to assist in their continued journey in the Mirrorverse. With the introduction of Tier 4 gems, the value of Tier 3 gems has been reduced, naturally. Out of respect for the time investment of players who have worked hard to obtain these valuable resources and money, we will be providing compensation to those who've earned Tier 3 roll gems and Tier 3 roll gem shards, which is nice. Gem compensation will be provided in tiers listed in the charts below. The tier a player is eligible to receive is based upon the number of T3 roll gems and T3 roll gem shards the player has earned or purchased. They did have 3 offers early on, didn't they? 2 tanks and 1 melee. Players who have not earned or purchased any T3 roll gems, Tier 3 roll gem shards, or have only earned Tier 3 diamonds will not be eligible for this package. So if you've neglected dungeons and you've not been farming the diamonds, then you ain't going to get this one. Okay, so compensation Tier 1. You will get one tier 3 sapphire. You'll get one of each class specific, and you'll get one tier 3 topaz. Compensation tier 2 for the gems. You will get one of each class specific, one tier 3. Oh, sorry, 4 T3 diamonds plus 50k gold. So let me repeat that. You will get one of each class specifics. You will get 4 tier 3 diamonds instead of the one from the previous, plus 50k gold. The middle package, comp 3, you will get 2 of each class specific tier 3s. You will get 4 T3 diamonds, but you will get 100k gold. Compensation pack 4, you will get 2 tier 3 sapphires, 2 of each class. You will get 8 tier 3 diamonds, 2 tier 4 diamonds, which is nice, and 200k gold. So as you can see, these massively jump, especially with the gold. And the maximum comp package for the gems, you will get 3 tier 3s of each class specific. You will get 12 tier 3s and 4 tier 4 diamonds plus 300k gold. So to reiterate, the compensation package, you do need to have at least some, you need to have been farming the gem shards of the tier 3 diamonds, which are easily doable in the dailies. And if you haven't, I would definitely go and start jumping in and getting some of them now, just so you can get on the first one. Go and do that, guys. That is a hot tip. Don't waste your time. Get in there and at least get some of these. Because if you haven't got any T3s, you can just go and get your generic diamonds now, farm it up, get a few shards, and you will get 1, 2, 3. You will get 4 of the next T3 ones, so you'll have 4 R5s when you come back. You may need to farm the other ones, but there you go. Instant upgrades. A follow-up question, what I did ask about these, to get the maximum package, the maximum comp, which is 3 of each class specifics, 12 diamonds and 4 T4 diamonds, you need to have 3 R5 Guardians already activated, which isn't a lot if you've been playing dungeons from day one. So if you have 3 rank 5 Guardians, just 3, you will hit that max comp package. So when you come back, you will have access to 12 plus the diamonds. If you have the gold, you're probably talking about 2.4 million gold minimum, but you will have the resources ready to do it, so you can chip away at the gold. So you will have a lot more of your roster ready to jump up to the new ranks, and then you can get them going from 50 and above. So it's great, guys. It's the natural progression of the game. This is what's going on. Then that's just one comp package. There is a second comp package, but before we get into that, Stardust, your current Stardust, what you have, will be converted at a rate of 5 generic dust, converted into 4 role-based Stardusts, 1 for each role. While this is a slight reduction, the overall variety and availability of Guardians in the updated Dust Store has been increased, so you can get more with your less, because it's been split into 4. So hopefully it works out. We might not like this one. We'll have to see it, because our generous and their generous when it comes to the Stardust Store is completely different, because Mini's tragic. But everything else so far has been great. Role-based books will be converted into generic books, as I said earlier. In addition, unopened Scholar Crystals in Player's Inventory will be converted to generic books. Damn, I didn't know that, but there we go. In addition to the items already listed, all players will be placed in a compensation tier listed in the chart below, so Comp 2. The factors of this one including Guardians by Rarity owned, Scholar Crystals owned, and role-based books owned. I don't know what the criteria are for these guys, but this is what it is. Comp Tier 1, 1 Stellar Crystal, 100 arms, 5k gold. This is generic. I'm expecting most people to get 3 or 4 on this. 2 Stellar Crystals, 200 orbs, and 10k gold. Tier 3, 3 Stellars, 300 orbs, 30k gold. And the maximum one is 5 Stellars, 500 orbs, and 100k gold. Follow-up note, these compensation items will be delivered to players in-game mail after the 0.17 update goes live. This is important, guys, and everyone that follows, I really want you to do this. Get your word around. Tell people what you think. Come and join us on Discord if you haven't already. You'll have direct access to developers. They might not reply, but they read. Community members like Lyra, Mike, Pinwheel, Fell. No, they're always online. They always check in. Your opinions do get noticed. So yeah, player feedback has been instrumental in the development of the game thus far, and we continue to appreciate hearing from our valuable beta players. We're all beta players, guys. Come and tell us what you think. The team is working hard to continue to bring new Guardians and new features to Disney Mirrorverse. We look forward to sharing them with you. Whew, let's take a breather, guys. That was a lot. And let me gather my thoughts one moment, and I'll do a quick recap of everything. Right, okay, guys, straight off the top of the dome. Okay, here we go. Story quests are all being reset. We'll all get to claim the Star Rewards as we go up. Story mode will be harder. Dungeon updates. Dungeons split into 2 now. 3 days and 4 days. One's for your books, one's for your motes. One's for your gems, and one's for your motes, sorry. The tower updates has been split into 2 weeks, so every week there's a new one. You need high-tech Guardians and you need seafaring Guardians. This is where you get your books from. Guardian updates, we have 1 to 5 stars. Now we have Astral levels that go from 1 to 10. There is a new tier 4 gem, which we need to get from tier 50 to tier 100. There is also 5 ranks in the middle. Okay, Stardust has been split. Everything you've got now will be split into 4, which is class-specific Stardust. The Stardust Store will have other Guardians in that we've not seen before. Not ones in the Famed, but they will get added eventually. We now have a method of single targeting, so you can focus your range by tapping the portrait on an enemy. The damage system has now been changed, so it's your damage versus their defense on a stat. It's your focus versus their focus for range Guardians. Guardian milestones now have 20. Your tiers have been reset, but you keep all your ranks, levels, and talents. Compensation for this has been awarded. Keep all your talents. Nothing's been changed with talents, apart from the fact that you only need generic books and gold now. You don't need the role-specific ones, which nobody ever noticed because we all had. A big change was your talent levels unlock differently now. It's 12, 15, 18, 20, 25, and 30. The game will go down on Wednesday the 3rd for 2 days. It'll be back up Friday. With all of this, you will have mad compensation packages in your inbox. Yeah, that's just off the top of the dome, guys. There is so much more as well. There's a couple of things I did want to say, but I can't really remember. The video's long enough as it is. I'm going to cut it here. But if any of you guys have made it this far, I appreciate it. We're over 100 subscribers now. Appreciate that too. I'm going to start linking in other socials. I've got a project in the works that we're going to tell you about with some of my alliance mates. They started it and brought me in, gratefully. So if you guys have any questions about this update and things you want me to find out, feel free to comment, like the video. It goes a long way. Show it to your friends. Spread it to everybody. Let's get this out there, guys. This is what I'm officially calling Beta V3. May as well be. So yeah, leave your questions in and I will find out from proper sources, developers and managers. I will get back to you with the answers if I've not already covered it. Yeah, guys, take it easy and we'll see you on the next update.